Starting off this countdown, we have Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. This celebrity couple met on set of That 70s Show. They were a couple on screen and eventually off screen as well. In fact, Mila said that her first real kiss was with Ashton Kutcher, and now they're happily married with 2 kids, Wyatt and Dimitri. But I'm sure you have heard about the controversy recently involving them and their kids. While appearing on an episode of Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, the topic somehow got onto bathing, and they revealed that they weren't too concerned on bathing their kids. Mila said, and I quote, "I wasn't that parent that bathed my newborns." Kutcher continued on saying, and I quote, "If you can see the dirt on them, clean them. Otherwise, there's no point." This caused an uproar, and people started hating on the couple for not taking care of their kids properly. I personally love the two. It's cute how they went from dating in the show to dating in real life to then getting married. And honestly, they are great people and parents from what I can see. Moving on at number 9, we have Katy Perry and Russell Brand. This relationship had toxic written all over it. So the pair first met at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2008. After 3 months of dating, Brand proposed to Katy while vacationing in India. But this relationship had a number of problems. Apparently, they would get into fights about everything, from her partying to when they were going to have children to his stand-up jokes. You get it. Not only that, but apparently Brand was often jealous of Perry's success and felt like he was living in her shadow. In Katy Perry's Part of Me documentary, it showed her curled up and crying in her dressing room on a number of occasions after having fights with Brand. Katy also called him controlling. In the end, Brand broke it off with her through a text message and said that his relationship with Katy was boring and compared it to being on a diet of white rice. That's rude. So people were open to the relationship at first, but as months passed, they were not here for it at all. They didn't like how they got married so fast and knew he didn't treat her the best. Moving on to number 8, we have Aaron Taylor Johnson and Sam Taylor Johnson. Now the reason why this couple received so much hate is because of their age difference. So the pair met on set of the film Nowhere Boy in 2008. Aaron played the lead and Sam was the director. A year later, the two were engaged. But Aaron was 18 at the time that they met and Sam was 42. With a 24-year age gap, fans were thinking the worst about Sam and her intentions with Aaron. Years later, the couple are still going strong. In fact, just recently they both got tattoos on the left side of their chest with each other's name on it. So, suck it haters, sorry, but this pair is here to stay. In our 7th spot, we have Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Talk about a controversial relationship. This relationship had drama written all over it. So apparently the two first got together in 2012 while Kim was still in the middle of getting her divorce with Chris Humphries all figured out. Then in December of 2012, Kim revealed that she was pregnant and the two were expecting their first child together. Fast forward to now. The pair now has 4 children together and their marriage is rocky. According to the Keeping Up with the Kardashians show, the pair have been fighting for a while. From fights over Kim refusing to give Kanye a band-aid, to Kanye feeling neglected, to him not liking her Met Gala dress, saying it's far too revealing, you name it. They would fight several times a day, but the final straw apparently was a couple months ago when Kanye started acting more erratic. He accused Kim and Chris on Twitter and exposed that him and Kim were contemplating having an abortion when she was pregnant with Northwest. Honestly, people were concerned about the relationship and their clashing egos from the start. And rumor has it that Kim was preparing the divorce papers since 2018. Moving on at number 6, we have Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. Another very attractive couple, but they have received a lot of hate. The pair first started talking in 2016 after Nick slid into her Twitter DMs. How romantic. But it took 2 years before the two made it official in May of 2018 after confirming that they were dating. After just 2 months of dating, yes, 2 months, Nick proposed. By December of that year, they were married. No one was expecting that. It all happened way too fast. In fact, some people believe that they aren't even a real couple. It's all just for show. They also have received hate for their age gap. Priyanka is 36 and Nick is 26. Again, love is love despite age, but whatever. Not only that, people think they married each other just to boost their brands. But what do you think about the relationship? Are you here for it or not? We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Beyonce and Jay-Z. I think people hate this pair because they think that Beyonce can do way better, especially after Jay-Z admitted to cheating on her. Like, you're with Beyonce! She's gorgeous and talented, why would you ever cheat on her? Anyways, the pair seemed to hit a rough patch in 2014 after Beyonce's sister got in a fight with Jay-Z and punched him in an elevator after the Met Ball. The footage was soon leaked and people were like, ooh, what did Jay-Z do? Later it was revealed that the fight was because of Jay-Z's affair with Rachel Roy. People were like, Beyonce doesn't deserve this. No one cheats on our queen. And that's why people don't like them together. Moving on to number 4, we have Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Okay, here we go, folks. Hardcore Selena superfans were outraged when Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin got together. For them, Hailey was getting in the way of Justin and Selena getting back together. They just refused to accept that they both have moved on. Apart from the Jelena shippers, others aren't too fond on how Justin treats Hailey. In April of 2021, Justin and Hailey were caught by the paparazzi going to a cafe. When they arrived, Justin gets out of the car and then slams the door in Hailey's face. Awkward. Another time, the pair were on Instagram Live together, and he told Hailey to back off and stop touching him after she gave him a hug. So people were getting snappy saying the two are not a good pair for each other, that he needs to treat Hailey better. In our 3rd spot today, we have Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. I think most of the hate that this couple receives is from die-hard Mendes fans that are mad that he's taken because they thought that they had a shot with him. Anyways, the pair were first photographed together at the 2015 VMAs. They then met again the same year at the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas. And that's when she went into his dressing room to say hi and talk. The cuties made it official in, I believe, 2019. And they are apparently still going strong. But the pair did receive some backlash in February of 2021 when Mendes posted a picture of Camila on Instagram for Valentine's Day. In the photo, he was kissing her foot, and the comments on this photo were harsh. They were calling him disgusting and their relationship cringy. Yikes. In our 2nd spot, we have Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell. Honestly, my mom and dad. They're both talented actors and they're hilarious. But unfortunately, the pair has received their fair share of hate. First off, the two are very open about their relationship. In September of 2020, the two shared a story and photo on Instagram that had a lot of people shocked. It shows him and Belle in a car and she's bent over a bottle. Turns out, she was actually peeing in this bottle. Which, I mean, for a girl to do, that's hella impressive. He captioned the photo on Instagram and I quote, "The most important part of this photo isn't that my bride at Kristen Annie Bell is peeing in the car. It's that the car is 36 hours old. So much disrespect that I almost have to respect it." People were like, okay, why would they tell us this? TMI. Belle went on to explain that she doesn't F with public restrooms during a pandemic. Then we have the beer controversy. Dax was struggling with his addiction on and off. So he doesn't drink beer, but he does enjoy a good old non-alcoholic beer. Apparently, they let their daughters drink it too. I know it's non-alcoholic, but their kids are 6 and 8, and it doesn't seem like the most appropriate thing for them to be drinking. So people got mad at them for that as well. And of course, they also admitted that they don't regularly bathe their kids as well. I mean, I love them together, screw the haters. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. They are a good looking couple, not gonna lie. But their behavior at the VMAs on September 12th was just downright cringy. It all started during Megan's interview with Entertainment Tonight. She was talking about Machine Gun Kelly and how he helped pick out her outfit. She said, he was like, "You're gonna be naked tonight." And I was like, "Whatever you say." She then continued on, calling him daddy, and then said, "Whatever daddy says." That's not all though. The interviewer asked her if the two would be collaborating in Machine Gun Kelly's future music videos. And she said, and I quote, "He's not allowed to have other hoes in his music videos. It's the queen or nothing." Alright then. Then of course the two were all over each other during the event, touching and kissing each other, you name it. Another cringy moment for the pair was when Megan posted a photo of herself on Instagram from their Airbnb the two were staying at. The caption was, "When I tell you that the table at this Airbnb saw some things." Machine Gun Kelly replied with, "I'm glad that's not our table." So we all all know what they did on that table, okay? But come on, we don't need to know about it.
At number 10, Cardi B and Offset. Cardi and Offset have been on and off for so long, and people honestly wonder why they're even still together. They've gone through their share of rough patches, specifically infidelity. Though they've been married for over 3 years and have 2 kids together, that apparently hasn't stopped Offset from seeking comfort elsewhere, and Cardi even filed for divorce from Offset in 2020 because of his infidelity, though they later got back together after he spoiled her for her birthday, buying her a $300,000 car and dedicating a billboard to her. Offset has had a number of cheating scandals over the course of his relationship with Cardi. In 2018, about a year after the couple got married in secret, Offset faced rumors that he had cheated on Cardi and even allegedly made an adult film with another woman. Back in 2020, he faced even more cheating scandals where it was rumored that he even fathered a child during this affair. A lot of people say that this is a toxic relationship, but they keep coming back to each other, and that's why people don't like them. They are toxic, and people say that they're just hurting each other and themselves by staying together. At number 9, Joe Exotic and John Finlay. With the success of the Tiger King documentary on Netflix last year, a surprising amount of people became temporarily obsessed with the lives of those who were showcased on the show. Joe Exotic and the others involved in his life became public figures, and there are a number of people who are still interested in their lives, specifically in their relationships. One of the relationships showcased in the show was the marriage between Joe and his ex-husband, John Finlay. John recently came forward to talk about his life after the documentary brought him some minor popularity, and he exposed his former relationship with the now imprisoned Big Cat owner and exposed his marriage. John cannot express enough how regretful he is of his marriage to Joe Exotic. John said that his whole marriage was fake and that it was just for Joe's popularity, remarking that the wedding that was shown in the documentary, which showed him, Joe, and Travis Maldonado, was all, quote, basically a publicity stunt so that Joe could get his own reality TV series. John spoke out saying that he still carries the pain from his time with Joe, and fans have expressed how much they disliked their marriage because of how much pain John was put through. After hearing John's testimony, it kind of makes it easy to hate them too. Now, before I carry on talking about more celebrity couples that people aren't too thrilled about, I would first like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also maybe consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Madonna and Guy Ritchie. Even though this relationship ended about a decade ago, that doesn't stop people from hating the time that Madonna and Guy Ritchie were together. The two were married in a very toxic relationship for almost a decade, but their distaste for one another has lasted much longer. And because of this negativity, they, as well as their fans, no doubt regret them ever being married in the first place. It seems like their marriage turned sour because Madonna was trying to work so hard in her career, and so things became strained between them and the hostility began to grow. Coming out of the divorce, the worst of it started to come out. Guy made a lot of harsh comments about his marriage to Madonna, comparing his relationship to the singer to a soap opera, and also said that she was more concerned with her public image than she was with their marriage. Madonna has fired back at her ex in the past, saying that she felt like she was incarcerated during their marriage and that Guy was nothing but a gold digger. There's just a whole lot of drama there, which really shows that they weren't a good match at all. The way that they spoke about each other in the media just made people really hate them because neither of them deserve that kind of negativity in their lives. At number 7, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. I am sure you can guess why people don't like these two. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have had a very difficult relationship. Things were apparently toxic from the very beginning, since it was believed that Tristan was cheating on his ex with Khloe when they first got together, so the infidelity in their relationship was apparent from the get-go. A lot of people saw the red flags from the beginning, but that didn't stop them from trying to make things work, even after Khloe got pregnant with Tristan's baby. Shortly after their daughter True was born, photos of Tristan appearing to cheat were leaked, and TMZ leaked footage from 2017 showing Tristan kissing women at a club. This was a huge deal, especially as this all came out around the time of their daughter's birth, but what surprised a lot of people is how quickly Khloe got over it. Things mostly died down after a few weeks, but later on in 2019, more cheating allegations came out detailing how he had been cheating on Khloe again, this time with their longtime family friend Jordan Woods. This whole toxic mess had a lot of people hating on the both of them, and since they've apparently gotten back together, even more people have jumped on the hate bandwagon trying to get them apart for good. At number 6, Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. Another Kardashian relationship that a lot of people hate is that between Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. Though they're no longer a couple, they still have a family together, and that doesn't take away from their rocky relationship beforehand. Some people consider their relationship to be the most toxic Kardashian coupling. Kourtney and Scott had been on and off again since 2006, and even though they've broken up so many times, they just couldn't seem to distance themselves from each other enough. The pair co-parent their 3 kids, but they also cause a lot of drama whether they're together or not. In the past, Scott has cheated on Kourtney, and even when they were broken up, has said that he's dated other women, specifically those much younger than him, only to make Kourtney jealous, which is pretty toxic behavior. Kourtney and Scott also struggled with Scott's substance abuse problem, with Kourt going so far as to tell Scott that if he didn't get help, she wouldn't allow him to see their kids, and for a long time, Scott refused to get help. Things finally ended for good in 2015 when Scott was accused of cheating with one of his exes, and Kourtney just had enough of his infidelity. From that point, they haven't been in an official relationship, but they haven't kept their distance either. Kourtney is currently in a relationship with Travis Barker and seems to be really happy, so hopefully she's moved past her drama with Scott and can live peacefully, because no one likes them together and she deserves better. At number 5, Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. Continuing on with horrible Kardashian relationships, we have the toxic pairing of Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. Though their relationship was pretty short-lived, they were still messy, toxic, and very public, and a lot of people really hated them together. The two got together in January 2016, and just a few months later in April of that year, they announced their engagement, and fast forward to November 2016, they welcomed their daughter Dream into the world. Things ended as quickly as they started, and by February of 2017, they announced that they had split after trying to make things work for the sake of their daughter. During their relationship, they showed fans a glimpse into their lives as part of their reality show, Rob and Chyna, and during this time, sources said that they fought a lot, their actions were fueled by anger and revenge, and there was even allegations of domestic altercations. This toxicity wasn't just exclusive to their relationship, however, as it also bled into the Kardashian family as well. It was just really messy and negative, and a lot of fans hated them together. At number 4, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Though they became a well-liked couple after a while, at the beginning of Brad and Angelina's relationship, they were pretty hated because of how they got together. Before Brangelina, Brad and Jennifer Aniston were a couple. After 2 years of dating, they got married in 2000 on a bluff in Malibu. Things were okay until Angelina came into the picture after she and Brad met while working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Fast forward to 2005 and throw in some cheating speculation, and Brad and Jennifer were done. They filed for divorce, making room for Brangelina. It was a whirlwind breakup because of cheating scandals, as Angie became the other woman of sorts, and even as things died down over the years, tabloids would still bring up this drama from time to time, almost making it seem as though things weren't exactly over for this unfortunate love triangle. It took a while for people to warm up to Brad and Angelina, and they were pretty hated by a lot of Jennifer Aniston's fans. At number 3, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. American Horror Story stars Emma Roberts and Evan Peters had a very tumultuous relationship that unfolded in the public eye, and a lot of people were not here for it. Though they have both since moved on from each other, there was a time when their toxic relationship took over their lives and fans hated it. They started dating in 2012 and had their shares of ups and downs, breakups, and makeups until they officially ended things in 2019. Their relationship had its faults. People say that their attitudes towards each other would change a lot, going from having a lovely time together to not speaking to each other for days. In 2013, they faced a scandal after Emma was arrested after the couple got into a heated argument that turned physical. Though the incident left Evan with a bloody nose, they tried to move past it and carry on with their relationship. They weren't at all a good couple, and a lot of fans knew that too. Many of them were relieved when they broke up because they didn't deserve that negativity and toxicity in their lives. At number 2, Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Even though people loved this couple in their heyday, after Justin Timberlake was exposed this year after the truth came out about his toxic relationship and breakup with Britney Spears back in the early 2000s, people switched gears and started to really hate their time together. The Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released took a deep dive into the way that the pop star was portrayed in the media, from paparazzi to interviews. A big part of that documentary explored Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney. After their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like the villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup just to boost his career. The media went on a frenzy, blaming and shaming her when she really didn't deserve it, and it really affected her life. People's eyes were opened into just how toxic their relationship and subsequent breakup was, and a lot of sympathy has been given towards Britney as the truth has finally come out about the whole thing. The narrative was just switched, and people grew to hate Justin Timberlake for how things ended between him and Britney. And finally, at number 1, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Now this one is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, we all know why we hate the relationship that Amber and Johnny had. Though the narrative has been changed following the knowledge that we now have about what really happened between them, the bottom line is that people hate the fact that they were ever together. There were instances of physical turmoil as well as verbal and emotional as well, and finding out about this opened a lot of people's eyes. We found out about how Amber had been cheating on Johnny and how she allegedly went out of her way to outshine him in the industry, always being ready to make big headlines to overshadow him. This toxic relationship went on far too long, showing us that the toxicity ran deep and made a mess of everything. Here we go again with more questionable couples. Between cheating scandals, old tea being exposed, and just the overall impression of their relationships, there are a lot of couples that people just love to hate. I'm back with some more people to talk about, so let's get into our list of the top 10 celebrity couples that everyone hates part 3. At number 10, Eminem and Kim Mathers. When it comes to back and forth celebrity relationship drama, fans can get really tired of it after a while, so that could be the reason why people hated it when Eminem and Kim were together. Rapper Eminem, aka Marshall Mathers, has had a rocky relationship with his ex-wife Kim Scott, and it's sort of been that way since the very beginning. They first met in the late 80s when Marshall was 15 and Kim was 13, and they became pretty dependent of each other from the start. They lived together at his family home and later began a romantic relationship, moving in together and having a daughter. After years of being an on and off again couple, the two got married shortly before Marshall's first major tour. It was then that Kim saw Marshall and their relationship as imperfect, and she started to doubt whether she wanted this type of life for herself. Kim said that after the tour, Marshall got a big ego and he started treating her as someone not worthy of his love and presence because he was a big star. Kim also alleged that her husband had been cheating on her. The rapper's career had a very negative effect on their relationship, and so 2 years after tying the knot, they got divorced. They did get back together again briefly, but that ended again. This drama made a lot of fans' heads spin, so it's no wonder why people have negative things to say about these two. At number 9, Janet Jackson and James DeBarge. Now, I'm not sure if everyone hated this relationship, but there was certainly one person in particular who really did not approve. Janet Jackson experienced her first taste of married life when she was only 18 years old when she married James DeBarge in 1984, but their marriage only lasted about a year. Before getting married, they were pretty good friends, and Janet had been friends with James since she was 13 years old. It seems as though they had been in love for a while, and so they took the first opportunity they had to get married. Though Janet's father Joe did not approve of the marriage, they went through with it anyway and were together for 15 months. After they split up, there had been a rumor swirling around that alleged that Janet and James had a child, but they gave it up for adoption in order to save their careers and public image after James brought all of this up in 2016. It's never been proven, but it still remains a wild theory. Janet eventually ended up getting their marriage annulled because of James' substance abuse as it began to take a toll on their relationship. I would imagine that Janet's dad also played a role in getting this marriage annulled since he was completely against it in the first place. Now, before I carry on talking about why people hate these couples so much, why not leave us a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe even smash that subscribe button to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. I remember when Selena and Justin were the talk of the town. Everyone was obsessed with their relationship, always asking them questions about their lives together, and news sources were always covering the drama that was going on with them. They started dating in 2011 when they were still teenagers, and from that point they had a rocky time together, which is why years after they've broken up, some fans have grown to hate their relationship because of how toxic it was. Already people were pretty aware of how toxic Selena and Justin's relationship was simply because of how many times they had public breakups and makeups, but in early 2020, Selena came forward to talk more in depth about their relationship and the negativity that she faced. Selena said that she was, quote, a victim of certain mistreatments, saying that what she felt was emotional mistreatment from Justin. She also went on to say that it took her a long time to find strength in her experiences and to shake her, quote, victim mentality. Justin in late 2019 did open up about his actions in past relationships, saying that he became, quote, resentful, disrespectful to women, and angry. Clearly there was a lot of negativity going on, so people really did not like the fact that they were together. At number 7, Tina and Ike Turner. Ike and Tina Turner were a powerhouse couple in the eyes of the media as well as the fans at first, but behind the scenes things were messy and toxic, and once that became publicly known, people started to really hate the relationship. Ike and Tina first met while Tina was still a teenager, and soon they hit it off and started performing together. Soon their duo catapulted them to stardom, bringing them a lot of success, but because they were so close, things got really toxic. They got married in 1962 and stayed together for the following decade, but Tina was living her life in pain. In her book, Tina wrote about how Ike was a toxic partner, saying, quote, "He threw hot coffee in my face, giving me third-degree burns. He used my nose as a punching bag so many times that I could taste blood running down my throat when I sang. He broke my jaw. I couldn't remember what it was like to not have a black eye." End quote. Things got so bad that Tina wanted to end her own life, but thankfully she survived her attempt and used her survival as fuel to get the strength to leave Ike and this toxic life behind. After this horrible relationship was exposed, fans started to rethink their support of this relationship completely. At number 6, Mel Gibson and Oksana Grigorova. Mel Gibson is probably one of the most hated people in Hollywood, so it's no surprise that his relationship would be hated too. Mel was in a toxic relationship with his former partner Oksana Grigorova, and so many people hated it. The two had a very messy breakup in 2010, and at this time an audio recording came out that showed Mel yelling at Oksana and saying horrible things to her about her body because he was mad that she allegedly lied to him about getting breast implants. In the recording, Mel was heard saying things like how he hated the way that she looked, claiming that she looked provocative and inappropriate, and even saying that if she were to be taken advantage of, that it would be her fault for looking the way that she did. This was a nasty, swear word ridden rant that honestly no one deserves to hear. If this recording didn't paint enough of a toxic picture, then I don't know what would. This made people hate this relationship even more than before. At number 5, Mike Tyson and Robin Givens. This relationship was pretty controversial at the time and sort of still is because people really don't know whose side that they want to take, but either way it was toxic and hated by a lot of people. Back in the late 80s, Mike Tyson was dating model Robin Givens. Shortly after they started dating, Robin announced that she was pregnant with Mike's child, and so he married her to, quote, "do the right thing." Mike had given Robin and her mother $15 million in order to get themselves settled in a nice house, and it seemed like Mike took care of them. But after a few months passed, Mike noticed that Robin's pregnancy wasn't progressing, and that's when she told him that she had actually lost the baby months prior and just didn't tell him. He was hurt by this discovery but still stayed by her side. It wasn't until their famous Barbara Walters interview came out that things really cracked for the couple and got really toxic. The interview was originally supposed to be an exclusive with Mike, but apparently before things got started, Robin had pulled Barbara to the side to tell her that she had some things that she wanted to say, and then proceeded to speak out about how Mike had allegedly been hurting her, saying that she was mistreated in the relationship. They divorced soon after, but people believe that the whole truth wasn't uncovered. Sources say that Robin was manipulating Mike and that things had been toxic because of her, but Mike just let it go. This was all over the place, so a lot of people just don't know what to think of it. At number 4, Axl Rose and Erin Everly. The tumultuous relationship of Axl Rose and Erin Everly is one that was pretty hated after allegations started to come out about what went on behind the scenes. Axl and Erin met in the early days of Axl's career, and soon they became inseparable. Erin became one of the most important people in Axl's life, being the inspiration for the song Sweet Child of Mine, and things looked good on the outside. Despite being a good-looking match on the outside though, they had a tumultuous relationship. Even through all of that though, they still ended up getting married in a Las Vegas ceremony in 1990. According to Erin, Axl actually threatened to harm himself if she didn't marry him, so things were already off to a rocky start. The marriage was annulled in 1991, just 9 months after getting married, and in 94, Erin filed a civil lawsuit against Axl, where she alleged that she was hurt by her then husband. After that information came out, people started to hate the fact that this relationship was praised for so long. At number 3, Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Prince Charles and Princess Diana were once considered one of the most beloved celebrity couples, and the world loved them. Well, they loved Diana, but soon they became hated because of the rumors surrounding Charles's extramarital affairs. Behind closed doors, Diana was sad and neglected by her husband, but no one knew that until later on. She was always second best in Charles's eyes, having never gotten over his infatuation for Camilla Parker Bowles, a woman that he was told he could never have. Diana regretted marrying Charles because she always knew that there would be 3 in the marriage: her, Charles, and Camilla. So when they got divorced, she was finally free, and the people turned on Charles for being so cruel to Diana. So I guess the people didn't necessarily hate the relationship as a whole, just Charles. At number 2, Chris Brown and Rihanna. One of the most toxic relationships out there was that between Chris Brown and Rihanna, and everyone grew to hate it. No one is quick to forget the incident that happened after the pre-Grammys party in 2009. On the night before the Grammy Awards, Chris and Rihanna got into a serious physical altercation which left Rihanna hospitalized from her injuries. Chris was labeled as a monster for what he did that night. A police investigation was conducted. As a result, he was sentenced to 5 years probation and 6 months community service. A lot of people believe that he should have been given a harsher sentence because of how severely he hurt his girlfriend, and he received a lot of hate. People use this as an example to show people that these relationships should not be so praised, and it caused a lot of people to rethink their support. And finally, at number 1, Saweetie and Quavo. No one really acknowledged it until recently, but singer Saweetie and Quavo had a toxic relationship. Shortly after announcing their breakup, footage was leaked which showed the former couple fighting in an elevator. The footage showed the two of them in a physical altercation, showing Saweetie trying to strike Quavo, a suitcase being thrown, Quavo falling on top of his girlfriend, and ending with Saweetie limping away. Though the footage was from a year ago, it gave people a very different perspective on how the relationship was at the time, and fans started to hate the relationship. Both Saweetie and Quavo have said that they've moved on from the incident, but some fans still haven't moved on from this because they don't want to ever see them try and rekindle that toxicity again.